Hey, everybody, this is Steve Borey from the Jackpot Gents, and I am one half of the Jackpot Gents, and the other half is my son, Matt Borey.
How's it going, everybody? And today we have a very special guest. This is Mike Fields. He's the Vice President of Action Gaming and VideoPoker.com. If you're not familiar with Action Gaming, they are the ones that more or less invented video poker. So how are you doing, Mike?
I'm doing great. Doing really good.
Good. And now today we're going to talk, we got pretty much, we're going to list 5 reasons why video poker is the game you should be playing in the casinos. So I guess let's just hop right into it. So Mike, could you tell us a little bit about your company?
So Action Gaming, we renamed the company as VideoPoker.com. It's the company owned by the gentleman named Ernie Moody, who's the inventor of most of the most exciting multi-hand video poker games in the world. He came up with Triple Play in 1997 that hit the casinos in 98 and kind of took the casinos by storm and transformed the playing floor as far as video poker is concerned, with lots of fantastic games like Ultimate X, Spin Poker, Super Times Pay, those kind of things. So.
And then what is your title and your duties? What is it?
I'm the executive vice president, which encompasses tons of stuff. Ernie comes up with a game idea, and we have to flesh it out. We have to math it out. We have to add the sounds and the visuals. There's lots of other stuff we have to do with IGT, coordinating with IGT, who's our exclusive manufacturer and distributor. I have a job that on any given day, I might do 10 different things each day of the week. So it's actually really good for somebody with a bit of ADHD. I'm always busy.
I wanted to touch on your topic here where you mentioned IGT. So you guys at Action Gaming or VideoPoker.com, you create the games, you invent the games, and then you license them to IGT. Because most people, if they go to a casino and they see a video poker game, they associate it with IGT. But you are actually the people who have invented these games and licensed them to IGT?
That's exactly right. I went to IGT and worked for them directly in 2001. And my role there was the director of video poker. And I was tasked with creating a department within IGT that focused on Ernie's patents and growing the video poker installation base. Before that, it was just sort of a game that was offered and there wasn't a lot of organization to it. So I spent 5 years at IGT building up the business. And then in 2006, Ernie came to me and said, I've just purchased VideoPoker.com. Let's get together and see if we can do some fun stuff. Yeah. So what we do exactly as you said. We invent games, we write the patents, we transfer those over to IGT, we bring them to life, and we're more or less IGT's creative video poker side.
And if you're not familiar with VideoPoker.com, VideoPoker.com is a non-gambling website. You don't play for real money. They have a free version and they have paid versions. The paid versions come with training versions. They have monthly contests where you can win money. They have personal contests where you can just win bragging rights and stuff like that. And if you want to get the gold membership is what they have that gives the training. So if you wanted to get a free 14-day membership to their gold membership that'll help you learn to play video poker, which is what we're going to be talking about today. All these reasons that we're going to be giving for why video poker is better than, say, slot machines. That is if you're playing your hands correctly. You have to know how to play. So if you want to learn to play those hands correctly, go to VideoPoker.com/gents and you can get a free 14-day trial. And now I guess video poker is our favorite game, and we always encourage people to switch from slot machines to video poker because it is better. So now we're going to hop into this now that we've gotten a bit of background on you, and we're going to see why it is better, because we tell people all the time that it's better and they always ask why. So I guess we'll get into question number one, which is what I sort of just touched on there with the training software. Is video poker is a game of skill, so a player can affect the outcome. There's always going to be one best way to play the hand, and you're not always relying on luck. Can you explain how they're programmed differently from slot machines?
So video poker is driven completely by a 52 card deck of cards and a random number generator. You see the first 5 cards. There is, as you said, there's an optimal way to play those cards for maximum return. And you hold, you draw, and you play out. In a slot machine, you're just pushing a button and the RNG comes up with whatever it comes up with, and you might get a couple of kittens or a couple of buffaloes, but there's no actual involvement within your gamble. And that's the big key difference. The video poker players want to influence the outcome of their gamble, and they can do that. As you've indicated, they can learn and get the maximum return possible, extending their time to play and their possible winnings.
Mm-hmm. All right, so you had mentioned, so with video poker, there's a skill to it, and it's sort of like blackjack, I guess, in that there's always one mathematically correct way to play your hand. So if you, one of the things about, one of the other reasons we like video poker is you can learn how to play your hands. And we do that by using either computer software or going to your website. Again, we have the deal at a special section, videopoker.com/gents. So maybe you can explain to people what happens at your website, and then we'll talk a little bit about a program we sell called Win Poker.
Sure. So videopoker.com is really a great big playground and social community for video poker players. You can learn how the games work, what superstitions are real, what superstitions are not. And specific to your comment, you can pick your game family, like double bonus, deuces wild, bonus poker. You can pick the pay table that is offered at your local casino. So you're practicing on an accurate facsimile of the game you'll be gambling on. And you can practice hands. You can select easy, medium, or beginner, moderate, advanced. And you can set different settings, like it'll show you the right hold when you first draw, or it'll only show you the right hold after you draw. My favorite one is where I have it repeat the hands that I miss.
Mm-hmm.
Because I like to think that I play perfectly, but I don't. And so it's necessary for me to practice sometimes. The straight flush draws always confuse me.
Mm-hmm.
So again, you can play easy, moderate, or advanced, and you can set it up when it warns you so that you don't sort of have a peak. And like I said, I like the fact that you can have the hardest hands replayed for you anytime.
Well, it makes me feel better that even you, who works for the video poker company, doesn't play correctly. That makes me feel better.
Well, we're all human. We all get distracted. The football game might be in the back. We might have an attractive young lady in front of us. We might have a couple of drinks, and even a marksman still practices shooting.
Now, one thing I was wanting to say about your website, videopoker.com, is you can play all the games in there that you will find in a casino, like Super Times Pay, Ultimate X, 100 Play,
Powerhouse
Poker,
Hot Roll, all the crazy stuff.
Ultimate X Gold, any game pretty much you can find on your website. But then, now you can go there and you can play for free, but if you play for free, you'll see ads, but you can get an upgraded membership for an additional fee. But again, if you go, you can get a free 14-day trial if you go to videopoker.com/gents. But I also wanted to say, now there is other software. Now we sell software. Win Poker has been around, probably the most popular, one of the most popular software out there. And you can install it on your computer. And we sell that too on our website, AmericanCasinoGuidebook.com. You go up there, how to play. You'll see a section on video poker with a link to buy that. I think it's $34.95. You can download it immediately. But in that case, you are not involved in a monthly subscription fee. You put it there, you own it. but it's not going to have a lot of games. It only has, yes, you can change the pay table to other games, and you can go to 3 play, 5 play, 10 play, but that's it. On your website, you can play at least probably 100 different games of video poker. So you're the #1 site for that.
So we have the largest collection of true original casino gambling games assembled anywhere. Win Poker was sort of like the required reading of in the last 10, 15 years. And Win Poker enables you to practice on the basic game family, where there's an advantage to doing things on our side is that we have all the new games.
Mm-hmm.
All the different multi-hand games that have come about. You've mentioned some, Powerhouse, Ultimate X bonus streak are particularly popular, and they're really tricky to play correctly. So
yes, that's what I was just going to say is another plus to videopoker.com is some of these crazy games with the multipliers like Ultimate X, the strategy changes. There's a few other ones. I think, is it Hyper Bonus? I don't know. There's a few where the strategy changes depending on what all the multipliers are. There's a multi-streak or multi-strike, the one with the 4 lines. The strategy changes towards the bottom. So on their website, you can get all that stuff.
The crazy thing about Ultimate X and the proper strategy, you might have a queen and a jack suited with another off card of that suit, and then a couple of other a couple of the cards. The right hold is quite often the 2 suited and the other non
the 3-card flush.
For the 3-card flush, because you're not just playing for the best outcome of the hand, you're playing for the best multiplier outcome.
Mm-hmm.
You're trying to get, because a flush typically has a 10x on Ultimate X.
Mm-hmm.
And if you, rather than get 15 coins for a 3 of a kind, if you can get a 10x on the next hand, the EV of that is pretty powerful.
Yeah, that's what I always tell people. You got to go fishing for those multipliers. That's what I call it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so another great thing about video poker, Mike, is that you can look at the pay table and tell exactly what a game is set to pay back to the public just by looking at it. You'd never be able to tell that on a slot machine, which is another reason we tell people to play video poker. So can you sort of explain, for people that don't know, can you explain like a full pay game and then how the casino changes the pay table, how that changes the payback to the players themselves?
Sure. So the casinos, when they get our games, have the choice of turning on whatever game families they want, like double bonus, triple double bonus, deuces wild bonus. They also have the opportunity to select the payback return or the return to player that they want to offer. Now, on the games offer anything from, say, a 94% return to over 100% return. And the way that the money is returned to the player is the relationship between the full house, flush, and sometimes the straight. If you find a double bonus game that is a 10-6, which means on coin 1, you get 10 coins for a full house and 6 coins for a flush, that game pays roughly 100.16% and is a full pay game. By dropping the full house from 10 to 9, that lowers the game return by roughly 1%. Down into a low 99 return game. So what we do in making the games is we manipulate where the money is paid back to achieve a certain return to player or certain range of returns to player, so that some casinos can offer good game, better games. Some casinos without competition will offer tighter games, but it's all up to the casino what they want to charge for the game.
Yeah, and then so and I mean, sometimes, like you said, if there's competition, if there's no competition, I know a lot of times, like the games we were talking about, like Super Times Pay, Ultimate X, stuff like that, those bonus features will add to the payback of the base game.
That's right.
So what they'll do is, I know a lot of casinos, they'll have, say that they have 9-5 jacks or better, which is a decent game, but it's not a great game. If that's their baseline game and then they offer Super Times Pay, they'll cut it from 9-5 to maybe 8-5 or something on those bonus games. So that's the other thing about videopoker.com that your company that we like, is you can go on there. If you're not even sure what a game pays back, if you're in a casino and it's a game you're not familiar with, you can go to videopoker.com. If you have that gold membership, and change the pay table, and it'll tell you exactly what that is set to pay back. Now that 100% game, that 10-6 double bonus that you talked about, those 100% games, I don't think, will you ever find those anywhere outside of Nevada? It's pretty much just going to be Reno and the locals casinos in Vegas at this point, right?
I think you're right. The casinos don't have to offer full pay games anymore, partly because no one in the industry is really doing it. And the casino executives are paid based on the returns they get and what the overall hold of the floor is. So it's really tough to find those games. When you do find them, they're quite often, like Stations puts them right at the very front entrance when you walk in out of the parking lot. So the first thing you see is people playing, which the idea is to get you in the mood to gamble. And they'll offer those in low denominations, but they're finding things in full pay games in high denomination is really tough.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, years ago, well, I know Full Pay Deuces Wild, which is a very rare game to find because the return was at 100.76%. I tell people, usually you'll find it in nickels, sometimes in quarters, but you're not going to find it in dollars or $5 because people could make too much money at it. I think a casino is willing to take a bit of use it as a loss leader at lower denominations. But we're talking here about full pay table. So a full pay table would be the highest payback percentage pay table offered on that game. That would be the highest return. And then anytime they cut it, say the full house or the flush, it goes down by about 1%. But so we're up to reason number 4 here. So we're talking about you can learn to read these pay tables. But the other thing you can do, so once you learn to read these pay tables, one of the good things you can do is you can walk around the casino. And I tell this to people all the time. So if you and I were going to a casino, I could take you around the casino and I could look at the pay tables and I can show you the best game to play in the casino. And a lot of times casinos, it's interesting, though, that they don't always have the same pay table because sometimes you can find quarter games with jacks are better with a 9-6 pay table or an 8-5.
Which is full pay. 9-6 is the best you'd find.
Or 9-5 or 8-5 or even as low as 7-5 in the same table, in the same casino. And sometimes you can find this with machines right next to each other. And a lot of people don't understand this. But with video poker, you have the ability to do this, to find the best paying machine in the casino.
It can be crazy. There could be 2 banks of games adjacent to each other, and the returns are quite different on the machines on each bank.
Mm-hmm. I've seen it on the same bank where like the left half has a full pay machine and the right half is lower. So, the explanation we always use is, say you wanted to go eat a buffet at a casino, you walk up to the casino and there's 2 lines at the buffet. The line on the left is $15. The line on the right is $12. Like, you're going to go to the right line and only pay $12. There's no reason to pay that extra $3. It's kind of the same thing going to a casino to play video poker. If you
sorry. I was just going to say the people have to understand that the odds of getting a hand are the same on all those video poker machines. So what you want to do is find the ones that pay you the best return for getting any of those particular hands, because that's how you tell which is the best machine to play.
Mm-hmm. And the reason you can't do this on a slot machine is because you could look at a slot machine, and look at the pay table. But that's not going to mean anything because, as Mike said earlier, video poker has to be based on 152 card deck if you're playing single play, and they can't change the odds of getting dealt a card. The odds of you getting the jack of spades are always going to be the same amount, if that's the card you need. So they can't change the odds of what it takes to get that card, so they just have to change what they pay you. So that's why video poker is better. You can walk up and know exactly what it's set to pay back. Now, I guess we already sort of touched on this, is the number 5 reason, which is the best reason to play video poker, is we just talked about this. You can find video poker games that are set to pay back more than 100%. And you'll never be able to do that with slot machines, because a slot machine is based all on luck, So if a slot machine was set to pay back more than 100%, the casino would lose money on that. The reason the video poker machines, you want to touch on this, why video poker can be set to over 100%?
Simply put, most people can't play exact proper strategy. As you said earlier, it's often used as a loss leader, but it's kind of like all the green felt jungle, all those books that came out in the 60s and 70s about blackjack. They got everybody thinking they were going to be amazing card counters. And you can certainly improve your gamble in blackjack. The truth is that people will study, like I said earlier, I study and practice, but I sometimes don't remember and need a refresher. Typically, players make a mistake of about 1 to 1.5%, which if you're playing a 98% game, you're now playing a 97.5, 96.5. So there's always a piece of error in there. There's gambles that people go for, even if they know the strategy. So people like to make it a little more fun, but it's just tough to be optimal all the time. And people will all play 1 to 2% below optimal. Most people, the Bob Dancers of the world, he's a fascinating unicorn creature who can avoid caffeine, avoid distraction, and play perfectly for 8 straight hours. He's pretty remarkable.
All right, so we went through our 5 reasons why we think video poker is one of the best games to play. Now, do you have anything else that you would like to add on your own?
Look, I think that the more astute gamblers will always gravitate to video poker because they can have an influence in the game. And there's a lot of variety in the types of games. There may not have been 10 years ago, but now with a lot of the stuff that we've done with Ultimate X and Ultimate X Bonus Streak, there's way more ways to get volatility and excitement, but still have that undercurrent of managing your gamble. And there's nothing more satisfying than you're holding 3 aces and you know it's a 1 in 47 chance, and having the card drop in and seeing the math actually delivered in real life.
Yeah, because that's the main thing that I think a lot of people say is they'll because even me, I'm sure you're the same way. You had mentioned that you like volatility. You've got a bit of ADHD as well. As the single line I find boring, but now you get these multi-hand games, 10 play, 100 play, all these multipliers. I like volatility as well. So, it's if you learn how to play video poker and you can play some of these crazy games that you guys have invented and offer, it could be very, very exciting.
Well, look, when you're playing Ultimate X and you get dealt a full house and there's a 12X coming on all 3 lines the next time, that creates such a rush, such excitement and anticipation. You hold your full house, you get your 12X, and now you're just sort of like praying to the video poker gods, please deliver me 3 aces. Please deliver me a high pair minimum. And then you get the hand and you play through it. And when you hit them, it's just so exciting.
Yeah, we were playing the other day at the Hard Rock down by us. The lady next to us was playing Deuces Wild on Ultimate X. She got I forget what the 12X is on deuces. I think it's a straight flush or something. And then on the next hand, she got 4 deuces on the 12X line. Wow. So she got, what was that? 12,000 credits, I think, or something. It was something crazy like that. And she didn't believe us when we told her how much she won. She just saw the credits going and we're like, you just won several $1,000s. She's like, no, I didn't. And yeah, sure enough, she did.
Yeah, she did. Wow.
That's awesome.
All right. We want to just throw in a couple of things here. We get questions all the time that people send to us. So I just want to run just 2 of them past you. And one is, some people think that casinos can change the programming on video poker games to avoid giving players certain cards. Can you address those concerns?
That's absolutely not true. The casinos can do nothing more than initiate the game families and the return to player they want to offer. The way the cards dealing works is I kind of describe it as there's a hamster on a treadmill running in a little wheel until you push deal. When you push deal, the first 5 cards off the deck stops shuffling. The first 5 cards come off the rank, fall into place, and then the deck goes back to shuffling. And when you hold and select and draw, the deck stops shuffling and you get delivered the top card or the top two cards into the first available spaces. And that's how that works. A lot of people think that there's cards behind each position, and that's just not true. And the regulatory authorities would never allow a casino to have a secret button.
Well, I think one of the things they say, oh, well, if it's an Indian casino, a Native American casino, it's different because there's no controls in them. They can do whatever they want.
I've heard the same things for years. That's absolutely not true. They're regulated. The games are tested and approved by BMM and GLI. They have the same scrutiny that a Class 3 casino has. And so you're completely safe playing in an Indian casino, a Native American casino.
Okay, because through the years, I mean, I've been playing video poker for over 25 years, and I know there are professional video pokers. We know some of them, and we've never heard of an instance where a video poker player thought that the games were not played legitimately.
People sometimes get a little mixed up if they go to a Class 2 casino. A Class 2 casino, you don't have the RNG on the actual machine you're playing. There's a big server computer somewhere in the back of the house that delivers an outcome to the machine.
Yeah, for people not familiar, Class 2 is really, you can go in a Class 2 casino, it'll look like a regular slot machine or a regular video poker game, but you're actually playing bingo against other players in the casino.
And then I guess we had one other question, but you had sort of answered that. And that was the people say that, if you say you get dealt your 5 cards and they think there's another card behind it and the decision has already been made, like that there's just another 5 cards behind it. Was that ever the case? Because I had heard that used to be the case.
I've heard the same thing before my time, but I did hear that that's the way it was originally set up. But I know for a fact since the 90s, that it's been done the way I described. The cards shuffle, you hit deal, you get the first 5 cards off the top. It goes back to shuffling again. You hold, say, 3 of your cards. When you hit draw, the deck stops, the top 2 cards fall into place, and you get what you get.
Okay. All right. Well, Mike Fields, thank you very much for joining us today. If people want to get more information about you or your company, where can they go to do that?
Videopoker.com is probably the easiest and best place. Every comment that comes to the site I see, as does our CMO. We try and respond to every inquiry and request we get. We try very hard to create a really welcoming community because there's a lot of people that have these kind of questions. And we don't want people being skeptical of video poker because it is such a good gamble. We want them feeling as comfortable as we can and looking forward to going to the casino and having fun playing.
All right, and 2 things I wanted to mention. I think people can go to your site, and if they're looking for a particular video poker game, you have a database of of casinos in the country.
We do. It's 30 days in arrears because it comes from IGT's billing system because we license the games to IGT, who in turn licenses them to the casino. But it's generally very accurate. You can pick a game. Or you could pick a casino and you can see where that game is in a state. You can see what casinos it has or that it's located in. It's a really good tool if you're planning on maybe coming from the Midwest and coming to Vegas the first time. And you're going to be staying at the Cosmo. You can see what games the Cosmo has, if it has the games you want. If not, you could then click the game that you want and you find it elsewhere in town. So it's a pretty handy little tool.
Yeah, and then oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, I'm sure people will find that useful.
And you said 30 minutes or 30 minutes. You said it was 30 days. So it's 30 days behind, right? So whatever information you have is from 30 days ago. Well,
sometimes a game sort of tapers off in popularity and again, it gets taken off the floor. And if we haven't been updated on that, we might be incorrect we might say that it's still there.
Yeah, but I mean, it's 30 days behind. We're not talking like 6-8 months behind. So it's still, it's going to be pretty darn accurate.
It is pretty darn accurate. And it helps a lot. We get a lot of thank yous for that and stories about the gambling trips. It's great fun to have people email in stories. because sooner or later, if you play a fair bit, you're going to have one of those things where you get a royal flush and another one half an hour later, or you dump a hand and you get dealt 4 aces with a kicker. Those things happen, even though they're outlier events. And those are the things that really make us enjoy our video poker games.
All right. Well, Mike Fields from videopoker.com. And one last time, we just wanted to mention, if people wanted to go and get their free 14-day gold membership, you can go to videopoker.com/gents, GENTS.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks, gentlemen.
You bet.
Thank you, Mike.
Take it easy,
care.
Mike.